Hey guys, it's San and welcome back to the BulbaSquad. So, yes, you read that title correctly. I'm going to show you how I try to predict, keyword, Pokemon reprints. So, this is version 3.0. It took me forever to finally figure out a stronger version from the last one because I keep trying to improve my systems. And in the previous iteration, it was too difficult to follow for most people. So, modified it. You should be able to follow if you really try. So, those of you who are only here for a little bit, want to get a quick gist of stuff, you're not going to be able to get anything out of this video, okay? This is an in-depth system. We are trying to predict the Pokemon company's whim. Like, just if they feel like doing it. That's very difficult to predict, okay? So this system is called the rat system. Like it rats out whenever they're going to do the reprints. It's called Reprint Anticipation Timeline. I kept the timeline because at the first iteration, this was a timeline. And I guess there's still kind of a timeline because we got time down here. So, this is a two-pronged system. The bulk of it is up here, and then this is just something that matters because it provides context. There's no possible way for me to create a system where you just input little variables and get the answer you want, just like the spider system. I have a system that organizes the variables. Then you look at the circumstances, which is the relevance, and you make your conclusion. So, here we go. You have two variables. You have the price and the time, okay? These two, essentially, where they meet, where I'm going to show you exactly how that works, is where, realistically, what it would take to trigger a reprint. I cannot guarantee you a reprint will occur at that timeline because, again, this is a whim. This is just a person deciding, oh, sure, why not? But this is to help give you an idea of how this works. So, they are positively correlated. You're about to see what I mean by this. So my two milestones are 6 months because at that point in time you've had 2 set releases, and during a standard Pokemon time, that would be out of print because now they're just not really paying attention to the booster boxes, to making it really big things. So I consider that out of print. They can still do little booster packs here and there in product. So I guess if you wanted to stretch it out, it could be 1 year, okay? And 2.5 years is going to be you're out of rotation completely. A set lifespan is 2 to 2.5 years. I chose 2.5 because that's like the safe zone. So, when a set initially releases, before this time frame, it can be reprinted at any point in time. They can just bring more out, okay? So I'm just going to use some hypothetical numbers to help draw this better. Let's say before this time frame, 140, you know what? I need to get rid of the price. I already said price is over here, so P. Let's say $140 is the magic number right here, okay? And then let's say this is what spark a reprint all the way up until that 6-month mark. I know it didn't connect, but ignore that, okay? All the way into that 6-month mark, okay? So if you stay below that, theoretically, again, no reprint should occur, if you stay within moderation of that, no reprint should occur. Now, within this, again, reprints can occur whenever. It's very new, okay? If it starts spiking up by even a couple bucks, maybe the Pokemon company decides to reprint it or bring more out, simply because they don't like it going up. Now, this is where the meat of it comes in, okay? The reprint system doesn't matter when it's still in print. It matters when it's out of print and heading towards out of rotation. Let's say we start getting to, let's just make this a magic mark, 1 year. Okay, 1 year. It's a little harder for me to write. At 1 year, you see how it increased? This gap? That means over here on the price, it also has to increase by a certain amount. So what this means is if it's at $140 still, we are not going to be able to do this and hit a reprint. That is not how it works. The Pokemon Company has to devote resources to putting those cards back on the printers, put it back on the schedule, everything. Okay? So instead, you're going to have to be further up here. In order to reprint a product that is older, the price has to increase appropriately. It has to accommodate for that. So let's say the price increases to 180. Okay, and that would be the amount. Now what happens is if they reprint it, the prices drop back down, 160 whatever, and it manages to make it the rest of the time to 2.5 years at the 160 mark, we are increasing the amount of time that is passed. Mind that's notifications on the computer. But we are increasing the amount of time that has passed, but we are not proportionally increasing the price of the product. So what that means is a reprint should not occur. Okay? You cannot take a step back and go further out and then reprint. Again, you have to consistently keep increasing the prices in order for those reprints to drop. That is from my observations. That is from the data I have seen. So essentially, this is what it looks like. Prices increase more time passes, prices must increase more, and then your reprints will occur. However, if a reprint occurs at any point, the prices drop below where it was before the reprint, and more time passes, a reprint realistically should not occur, or the risk is much more reasonable. So I'm going to use a little principle to illustrate this to you guys. Hidden fates, okay? Alright guys, sorry about that cut there. It was just a bunch of sirens were going on. They went on for like another few minutes, okay? So back to where I was saying, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So Hidden Fates reprint was procced because after the first reprint came, the prices increased when the wave dried up and more time passed, so it made a reprint possible and realistic. And again, reprints kept coming, prices kept climbing every time the supply dropped, or every time the supply dried up. Makes sense because I think more people interacted with the product and want it, as well as the population of the hobby kept increasing. So now you understand the basic principles of how the system works. If reprint was sparked at price A, and then more time passes, and that price is either the same or below it, and even though more time has passed, it means realistically the risk of a reprint is negligible. Because at the end of the day, there's always risk, no matter what we do, especially because it's investing. So just keep that in mind. Now, we go into Part B. Part B is the relevance. This one is much more speculative. This is an experimental stage of it. I may refine it further on. So, relevance is, I have figured this out through observation. This is my opinion. This is what I believe. I think Pokemon has a number one agenda, which is the newest product must stay on the shelves. Then they have a number two agenda. Mind my twos, that's what they look like. Then number three, and then all the older sets are down here. So I'm just going to put OS, older sets, okay? Mind my crooked S. And the reason I made number one biggest is because that's what matters to them. That is what they are expecting to be on the shelves. And so from my own experience monitoring them, they will pay attention to their newest sets that are going to be in the rotation for the longer than everyone else. And that must stay on the shelves. That has been proven by the fact that Vivid Voltage keeps getting reprinted. Darkness Ablaze keeps getting reprinted. They've already kind of neglected Champion's Path now after it got its initial reprints. They are focusing on their main sets that they expect to be on the shelves for the average collector / player. So, these are what matter most and first and foremost. Under no circumstances can you start moving into this area until the older sets have already been established. And so the way I'm going to back this up, Hidden Fates, perfect example again. The Pokemon Company will plan out reprints a couple months in advance. At the time when the first Hidden Fates reprint dropped in early of 2020, there was no brand new set that was not under control. Rebel Trash was very much affordable. Sword and Shield Base was very affordable. Even Cosmic Eclipse was very affordable. Up until a couple months ago, it was $150, even during the explosion. So those were the three that were already in control. So what could they then do? Now they go look into the older sets, and they figure out where can we make money. Because remember, no matter how much those sets are worth, like Evolution's at $1,000, or if it's a $200 box, the Pokemon Company makes the exact same amount of money off of selling them to the distributors. If they make 50 bucks off of a booster box, that's what they will make off of every booster box, because that's how it works. The secondary market price does not dictate how much money they make. Keep that in mind. That's a very common misconception people make. So because these three were already under control, Hidden Fates was next in line. So they decided, we're going to reprint Hidden Fates. And these prices remained under control. Time winning came and went. Darkness Ablaze released. Guess what? Darkness Ablaze, Rebel Trash, and Sword and Shield base, perfectly under control at release. Yeah, it was a little rough because supply did start drying up faster than before, but they had time. They could reprint Hidden Fates ETBs. Now, Ultra Prism, the big one. Everyone always brings up Ultra Prism. It was out of... Oh, if they can revisit the oldest set Ultra Prism, they can revisit whatever. It was still in rotation, okay? So, when Ultra Prism came, Hidden Fates reprints were already on the chopping block. Okay? I don't know why I erased that. So number 1 was already done, number 2 was already done, and number 3 was good. Hidden Fates was already on the chopping block. I think once they hit the older sets, they start essentially, like, imagine these are different sets, okay? All the Sun and Moon sets. They start going through it, deciding what are we going to reprint. Now, at that point in time, Ultra Prism was between $450 to $525 in sold listings, okay? Team Up was $300. That was the next biggest one. There was either a $150 to $225 difference. So this was a massive set. So what happened in this situation, and what I think happened, was all of these were under control. Pokemon decided to take a look at the older sets, which they do not have to reprint. This is just to get more money. Okay? They saw Ultra Prism's demand and realized, oh, this is an outlier. We're going to head straight to it. Even though we have Hidden Fates up here, which already was getting reprinted, so it kind of put it lower on the priority list for what else to do, because at the point in time, they still had printer capacity. Hidden Fates Team Up is pretty expensive. Unbroken Bonds and Unified Minds was about $150 at this point in time, and they decided, you know what, Ultra Prism about to go out of rotation, price is high, it's falling within the parameters of what I see. Ultra Prism seems to be the next reasonable reprint to come. So that's it. That is the rat system. To sum it up for you guys, because I know this was a lot of information, this is very confusing. You have a price and a timeline. P is your Y, T is your X. So, as time passes on, prices need to increase up proportionally to the time. If your prices do not increase, but your time does increase, then your risk of a reprint decreases. Now you need to cross-reference that with the modern sets. This is Pokemon's #1 agenda right now. #1 agenda. Battle Styles, Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze. Those are the newest sets. Maybe even Vivid Voltage or Darkness Ablaze fighting with Shining Fates. That one I don't know, because specialty sets are a little strange. So use that information and reference in tandem with this section to start making your own predictions where you think a reprint's going to fall. Once you have that information, you can decide to either hold off on purchasing, or even what I've done in the past, which is sell off some items of that set. Wait for the reprint to drop. When it drops, you just purchase it back, and then you keep whatever the difference was. So $25, $50 a box, something like that. Yeah, it's not a lot of money, but it's essentially the idea of you're getting free money, and you still have the exact same stuff. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Please tell me, do you think there's any areas I can improve on this system? This is already 3.0, so maybe we can get it to 4.0 if I get enough suggestions and I can polish this section up. So, thank you guys for sitting through this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.